Hi guys, it is officially the last day of quarter one of 2019, which means I have been embarking on my no buy, low buy for unofficial full quarter. Now, if you guys have been following along this journey, you know there's been a lot of ups, downs, mistakes, and triumphs. I will link the playlist in the description box if you wanted to catch up. I do encourage you, if you haven't watched my original no buy video, to give that a watch. It explains my tendencies, why I decided enough was enough and I wanted to do a no buy, low buy, who inspired me, my initial rules, just everything about my no buy. I also talk about PR, how I receive PR, how I work with brands, and how I was able to still continue to do these things but maintain my integrity in terms of a low buy, no buy. For me, it wasn't that it was any one area that was causing my initial spending. I just spent frivolously, mindlessly, and mostly because of emotional things and tendencies of growing up and bad habits developed growing up. The video is very important to watch. If you haven't watched already, I would encourage you guys to go back and watch that video. I'm going to talk about kind of where I started, where I feel like, what's going on, and what I'm going to be doing moving forward, as well as answering some of your questions that you guys submitted through the community tab, as well as my Instagram stories. I originally started my no buy, low buy. I retail therapy way too much. I felt like I had to have more to be happy as a person in life. I was justifying my shopping addictions because I had a YouTube channel and a blog. These are statements that I believed and felt. This one is very important for me to share with you guys. I felt like there are new products that I needed to get to and test first, or my channel would die. I was spending without thinking for instant gratification instead of thinking of what I was actually feeling at the time of needing or wanting to spend and why I wanted to buy something. The rules I had set in place originally were these: no impulse purchases at all. If I wanted something, I had to put it on a list and then move that list to a wish list, which had to have sat on my wish list for at least 7 days before going back and purchasing it. I cannot purchase items off of my wish list unless it was an actual need for a business expense or life necessary thing. No beauty purchases unless completely out of that item, which I did break, and I'll explain more. No fashion purchases unless absolutely necessary for work or travel, which I stuck to. I can buy meaningful gifts for friends and family for special occasions, which I stuck to. What can I spend money on? Experiences within reason, movies, shows, etc. Food out with friends, minimal work expenses. My goals for Q1 was to save $6,000 over the course of 3 months. I wanted to save money to purchase a new camera for my channel and a new iPad for not only work but also for life. Use up products I enjoyed. Get rid of products I didn't love. Purchases I regret. I didn't make a ton of purchases, but here are the items that I purchased and kind of regret I did. The first item that I purchased and regret, and I have to explain myself for this, is the J. Kissa and e.l.f. collection. I had put that on my wish list the second I knew Jess was coming out with a collaboration, and I wanted to support her and I wanted to get it because I was very excited for her. It was also, the entire collection was under $25. I did not break my no buy technically because I had put it on my list. It sat on my list for a week, and then I made that purchase to support fellow blogger, YouTuber, influencer, whatever you want to use, and it was within a reasonable amount of money. I did technically break my no buy because it was purchasing eyeshadow, eyeliner, and mascara that I did not need, was not out of, and have not used after the initial test of those products. Technically, it was like a 50-50 break in my no buy because it was beauty products that I did not need and was not out of. And looking back on it, I'm really excited and happy that I supported a really amazing person and content creator here, and a collab that was beautiful. And the quality of the products are really good. I was very surprised at how good the quality of the products are, and the price point was beautiful, very affordable. I love that. I haven't used the palette, the eyeliner, or the mascara since purchasing those products to test out and post an Instagram photo to support. So while I'm proud of supporting someone I truly respect in the industry, and it wasn't a lot of money, and I don't regret supporting, especially at that price point, and I don't think that Jess would have noticed if I didn't buy her collection. That one I have some regrets about, and I think after filming this video, I'm gonna pull out that palette and try and use it more. But again, like I say, like I don't really need to purchase makeup because I have a lot of makeup I still need to test out. Things come in almost weekly for me to test out and share with you guys if I enjoy it. Adding on top of the products coming in that I'm supposed to test out and see if I enjoy, and using up the products I do love, it just doesn't make financial sense. Because my channel, while it started as a review channel, isn't really that anymore. I still review products, but not at the level I was reviewing when I first started my channel. When I first started my channel, I was doing new foundation reviews every week. I was doing new collection reviews every week. So there was like 2 to 3 reviews a week on my channel. I've grown from that. I think you guys as an audience have grown from that. And while I still do product reviews, it's on a slower scale and a very more particular scale. Do my job efficiently and properly, I need to look at the products I want to review and test those out thoroughly before giving you an opinion. And I also want to use up the products I do enjoy and love. So I'm very blessed and privileged in that sense that a lot of the brands that I do genuinely enjoy and love already send me their new launches. So me adding to that pile of things I need to test out is just, it gets very overwhelming real fast, and then I become inefficient, and then the products that I want to test out don't get tested out, and the products that just keep coming in get forgotten about, and that's not fair to the brands, it's not fair to me, it's not fair to you guys. I don't know if I'm being eloquent enough or explaining myself well, and if you guys have questions about this, like kindly ask me. I'm more than happy to have a discussion about it. I do want to buy products, but I want to spend that money smartly for the business, not where I used to, where it was like going to Sephora every week and buying the new in, and then also getting new in products via PR, which again, I'm very grateful, very privileged, and very blessed to, and I worked very hard to get on those PR lists. Just trying to navigate all of this in an efficient way and doing my job to the best of my ability and giving you guys content you actually want to see beyond just reviews, because I really feel like we have grown where you want to see more than just 3 reviews a week from me. If you guys watch my weekly vlogs where I do what I spent every week, so I went and bought a shampoo bar and a conditioner bar, and when I went in to Lush, I also bought a body lotion bar, which was not my intention, was not on my list, was not something I needed, and was not something I technically was out of. They just got me. It was an extra $13, and while it didn't break the bank and it wasn't that big of a deal, it was to me, because looking back on it, I still haven't used that lotion bar. Why I should not buy things impulsively. I only made 2 impulsive purchases on my low buy, which was the lotion bar and this next thing, my keto supplements. Should not have done that either. Even though Chris was like, it's fine, you're feeling down. It was the week where my body image really affected me, and I made the mistake of ordering these supplements without putting it on my list for a week. While supplements are not on my no-buy, because if I run out, I need to get them, and if I feel like I'm missing something in my diet or in my body, I should get them immediately. The keto supplements are completely unnecessary. I took them for a week. I was getting really bad headaches, and I haven't taken them since because I'm pretty sure they were triggering my headaches. Maybe I should try them again because there are other things going on that week, but the headaches were so bad, I don't even want to risk it. That was $100 wasted. That was an impulse purchase because I was just feeling so bad about my body image and my diet and just where I was in life that it got to me, and I found these supplements online in the middle of the night and I couldn't stop thinking about it, so the next morning I purchased them. Mistake. I did make an impulse purchase with the J Kissa collection, but the 2 impulse purchases I did make during this time frame are also the 2 I most regret, which is why I have to stop impulse shopping. Granted, 2 impulse purchases at about $113 total is way better than where I was previous to this low buy. What have I learned in the last 3 months? There's not much I actually need to be happy. With most impulse wants, I don't really want it after a day or so. If I still want it after a day or so, I move it over to my wish list and it sits there for a week, and if I still want it, I still don't impulse buy it. But I know it's sitting there and I'm kind of like, no, I still want it. I'm gonna get it probably next month when I'm off of my official low buy and moving into a budget, which I will explain more. There are things I still do want and put on my wish list, and that's really okay. It's okay to want things. I use shopping to numb a sadness that overcomes me pretty frequently. I use shopping to reward myself for the constant hard work we're doing, or even to reward myself to make up for disappointments and things that are stressing me out. I was using shopping for all purposes, for happy moments and for sad moments. I've become more self-aware because I can't turn to shopping as my immediate relief. If I do want to shop for something, I have to take a moment and stop myself and kind of ask myself why, what's going on emotionally, mentally, physically even. I had to become more mindful and more self-aware. And the final thing I learned is I'm not alone. So many of you guys reach out and message me, leave comments, and tell me that you're going through the same thing, that you've gone through the same thing, that you feel these things, and I didn't realize that. I made this video, my initial no-buy video, because I needed to hold myself accountable, and the best way for me to do that is sharing with the world that I'm gonna do something. And when you guys reached out and told me how it resonated so much with some of the stuff you guys are going through, it helped. It really helped, and it kept me motivated because I want to figure this out and help you along the way, and we can go on this journey together. The one thing I continue to learn in this community and on this channel is that we are not alone. There is just something so powerful about the internet and being able to connect with people who are going through the same struggles. When I first discovered YouTube, it helped me out of a deep, dark place because I felt completely alone, and the beauty community made me realize that I had given up on so much and that I wasn't alone, and that helped me come out of myself. And then when my mom got sick, I realized I wasn't the only one that had to go through this. Some of you guys had very eerie, similar experiences. And then when I lost my mom, I knew I wasn't the only one going through that. And now going through this no-buy, low-buy journey, I'm not the only one going through this. I was watching so many no-buy videos before deciding to go on this journey. And the biggest thing was I wanted to do this journey my way. I wanted to do this journey where, okay, I'm already pretty like established in terms of the beauty YouTube world, in the sense that I do this for a living now. I don't know many people that started doing a no-buy or a low-buy where I was in my YouTube journey. Don't know many people that expressed some of the things I was feeling as being a part of this community already. And then I knew I wasn't going to be doing a complete no-buy, and it wasn't just for makeup and skincare either, because I had started my capsule wardrobe a year ago, spring of 2018, and while I've gotten a handle on my clothing and my fashion choices, I just started shopping for other things. My problem wasn't just with beauty and skincare, it wasn't just with fashion, it was all encompassing, all consuming. You take one thing away from me and I would find something else to spend money on. So my goals for Q2: continue to become mindful over my spending habits and why I want to spend. My second goal is still to continue to save money and put my money to better use. And 3 is finding a balance of still treating myself to things, but only things I truly want and will find pleasure out of. That's a hard one for me. I have to leave things on my list for a lot longer because the things I do finally purchase off of my wish list bring me so much more pleasure and joy than the things I impulsively say I want and purchase. The rules are going to somewhat maintain the same. I'm still going to put things on a list before purchasing them, wait for a week before purchasing it once it is on my wish list. I'm also going to give myself $100 a week. That $100 a week has to go towards lunch or dinners out with friends, quality time spent with friends essentially, and anything I might want to purchase from my wish list. That $100 a week also isn't part of my grocery bill and isn't part of any of my bills. I'm including coffee, lunch, and dinner out with friends. I find so much pleasure and joy in catching up with friends that I want to include that into my items I'm allowed to purchase budget, because I want to see if I can somehow start to value quality experiences as much, if not more, as purchases, because I used to value purchases over experiences, even though I wanted the experiences too. I'm trying to get my mind to see experiences and physical objects as the same, and this way hopefully I can turn down physical wants like of objects and purchases for maybe even plane tickets, show tickets, and things like that. This will include if I buy Chris a coffee. This will include if I treat Chris out to lunch. This will include if I want to buy something off of my wish list. This will also include workout classes I want to take, or fitness clothes I want to add, because fitness clothes isn't a part of my capsule wardrobe, but I do want some new leggings because I've lost some weight, so some of my Gymshark leggings no longer fit me properly. There's like extra fabric and it's looking weird. $100 a week can be rolled over. My week refreshes on Monday, and I will be updating you guys in my weekly check-ins with what I spent my budget on. I will not be listing my bills anymore unless it's an extravagant bill that I was not expecting, and I want to share that with you guys. Anything moving forward that are not those like basic monthly bills, I will share with you. I'm just not going to share with you my monthly bills that I've been sharing for 3 months, if that makes sense. I think you guys all know my cost of living at this point. Those monthly expenses that aren't going anywhere, I feel like we're at a place now where we know. If you don't know, you can catch up. So that's moving forward for Q2, and then I have a lot of questions that I think will detail more of what Q2 is going to look like. So I'm going to start off with my Instagram questions. Okay, so question 1 from Instagram stories is, what are you changing for the next quarter and what have you learned? I think we've covered that, but mainly I'm changing that I'm giving myself a $100 budget and what that applies to, because before I did not include going out with friends as part of my no buy or low buy, and I explained that a lot through the whole entire 3 months of why I don't do that, but now I'm going to include it within my budget weekly. Hannah Louise Poston, who inspired this whole journey for me, she had a comment that said, self-control is a muscle that must be worked. So while I can do anything for a period of time, because I know it's only a period of time, I don't want this low buy, no buy to be over and I don't have any self-control and I start spending like a crazy person again. Because I could easily see that happening. It's the reason why I didn't go thrifting. It's the reason why I'm still not thrifting, even though it's something I'm interested in and want to start doing. I need to practice self-control. I need to set a budget and be very strict with myself and hold myself accountable with these weekly check-ins. And I might fail miserably, but at least I'm failing and hopefully learning from it. So that's why I'm allowing spending in Q2, because I don't believe just by eliminating spending I will be able to come back from it in a healthy way either. So I'm learning from Hannah's series that I need to practice self-control. I think incorporating the budget now is important for my own personal journey. What's the hardest part of this low buy, no buy for you? I think the hardest part of this whole journey is thinking that my channel's gonna suffer for it. It really scares me, and I feel like it has suffered on the business end a little bit, because I feel like brands might think that they don't want to work with me for whatever reason, because I'm not gonna just force things down your throat. But I also think there's more value in the content that I do create to you guys. So when I do recommend something, it's in line with my principles, and I think that should be of more value to a brand than somebody who's just constantly pushing products down your throat. I have never felt like I did that, but I felt the pressure to do that. So I think that worries me a lot, and I'll talk about that a little more because there's another question that will help me explain that more to you guys. I definitely felt very challenged in the content I want to produce here, because I don't want to just tell you guys to buy things. I don't want you guys to feel the pressure to buy things, to be happy, especially because I feel like the beauty community, specifically on YouTube and on Instagram, fashion and beauty on Instagram and then beauty on YouTube, makes people feel like shit and makes people feel like they have to buy or they won't be happy. And I don't ever want to create content like that. I feel like I'm an outcast, and I feel like my channel has suffered for that in certain aspects, but I'm hoping that the right group will find me, and if you're watching this now, I'm hoping that you're part of that group. I don't know, I think like that's been the hardest thing, is to just like figure out who I am as a content creator and how I want to approach things moving forward. But also, I need to make a living, I need to make money, I want to have a house, I want to have a family, and all those things require money. What subconscious impulse spending habits have you noticed during your low buy, no buy? Example for me, it was falling for the travel size section while waiting at checkout. My biggest subconscious things, which I share with you guys in my weekly vlogs as I notice them, I think is that while I can control the fact of like impulse shopping right away with items, some of the things that's been really hard for me is when I feel really down about my body image. My body image is like my biggest weakness right now. Hoarding indie brands, I want to just give them all my money, which I don't think is a horrible thing, but it's just not where I'm at in a place in life right now to be able to do that. I love going into Detox Market, Credo Beauty, and just like spending money in there. I also love spending money on sustainable products because I can justify it as saving the planet, which you don't have to do. There are little things you might want to replace, but that ends up saving you money in the long run. And it's also things that you would be spending money on anyways for the house. So those things, I tend to be more impulsive about it. I definitely see myself when I browse, when I go into a mall and I'm browsing, I definitely noticed in the beginning, I was like, well, that's cute, that's cute. Oh my gosh, that's cute. I want that. That's so cute. Like everything in the store is suddenly cute. And I have this need to like consume it. But that was really the first month, I feel like. Now I'll look at things with a much more discretionary eye. Could a low buy make makeup skincare shopping more stressful? Possibly, yeah. I think shopping is definitely a little more stressful for me now. Currently, as I'm filming this, the Whole Foods beauty sale is happening, and Prime members get an extra 10% off, so I get 35% off at Whole Foods beauty section. I wanted to go in there and browse and look, and there were like a bunch of things I wanted to try, but in my head, because of my new shift and my new paradigm, I am thinking, okay, I want to try this Mad Hippie oil, but I have 3 oils open right now in my medicine cabinet that I'm currently rotating and using that I'm very happy with, and I have an entire drawer of serums that I need to test and get through. If I purchase this Mad Hippie oil right now that I've been wanting to test, odds of me actually getting the full test use out of it is slim to none. It's also a natural product. It doesn't have a crazy long shelf life. I also have more products at home that I need to test. And those products were things I wanted to test too. So while it's 35% off, I cannot justify purchasing it and hoarding it and leaving it in a drawer for an additional few months, if not longer. So these things are now going through my head, and I'm much more able to resist a beauty sale, even though it was really hard for me and it was kind of stressful, and I was just like, what is happening? Why am I thinking so hard about this? It's really only $20, but why? You know, so it can be stressful, but it's a good kind of stressful, because I'm actually really proud that I walked out of there just buying 1 bar of soap that I'm actually going to use to do soap brows. And Chris can use too, because we're out of soap. Bar soaps. He likes bar soaps. Are you taking things off your list of items you're thinking about buying? What's on there now? Okay, original wish list has a savings goal, especially because of the fact that we are freelancers and there are months where we don't make any money and there are months where we do very well, and so on and so on. So that's on my wish list. To be debt free is on my wish list. We personally, as a company, need a new MacBook Pro so that I can edit on the go, because Chris actually took my MacBook and is using it because his laptop broke. We did sell the parts of it, but MacBook Pros are so expensive. And then I would like a new iPad for work and for personal use. I want a new camera, that's still on my list, with very specific lenses and a monopod so that it's easier to film the facial videos. I wanted a new Chloe bag, which actually replaced my Lady Dior handbag. I had the Lady Dior handbag on my wish list for the longest time, and I finally crossed it out because I just don't think it's a high priority right now, and I rather get a Chloe bag that I know I'll get more use out of. So in terms of designer bags, I've lowered the price and switched it. Louis Vuitton makeup bag, because I just really would like a classy, nice makeup bag that will last me forever. So I had a Chanel Ombre Premier 820 in memory on my wish list, which I've crossed out because I have more than enough versions of something like that in my makeup collection. The Pamela Card Aphrodite necklace with the 20-inch chain has been on my wish list for a while. Pamela Card Virtuous Aquitus necklace 18-inch chain is also on my wish list. I don't know that I need both, but I haven't decided which one I want more, so both of those are on my wish list. The Oli Oso in number 10 Tea Rose is on my wish list and has been for a while. I still haven't bought that. I want to purchase an Elate custom eyeshadow palette or face palette, like a curated capsule makeup collection. Charlotte Tilbury, the Sophisticate eye palette, I actually crossed that off my list because I don't need it. I have lots of Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palettes, and then the Sophisticate one, I feel like I have lots of eyeshadows that can dupe that. Doc Martens, only if I can find it thrifted. We need a new can opener that's all metal, and I also wanted to get a new frying pan because we're getting rid of all the things with the nonstick. It's also been 8 years, so it's kind of time for that stuff to get like moved out of our home because it started to chip and it just makes me nervous. So we need either cast iron or a stainless steel one. We also need a new spatula. But those things, like, I put them on my wish list, but it's not that big of a deal because Chris can buy it or I'll buy it. It's a necessity at this point, but we've actually gone a few weeks just using our small little cast iron that we got for our wedding. Thrifted baggy jeans, that's still on my wish list. I don't need it right away, but it's one of those things where if like I go thrifting with a friend and I see it, I definitely want to get it. Brow tint, which has been on my wish list since day one of this no buy because I'll just refer back to my original weekly vlogs. It's now on here, but I still haven't bought it, but you know, one day I will. I really want new pillows, new comforter, and new sheets. I want really good quality ones. It's time kind of for us to change up our pillows and comforter. They're really old and gross, but I haven't bit the bullet yet because it's kind of expensive. Compostable phone case, which I think I'm going to treat myself for my birthday. I think I'm going to treat myself for my birthday, the compostable case, and maybe the Elate eyeshadows and face palette, but I don't know because I don't really need makeup, and I don't know that those makeup items are going to bring me joy long term right now when I have so many other makeup products to use. But I definitely am going to treat myself to that compostable case for my birthday. Thinx underwear, which has been on here like for 2 months now. I want period underwear for sleep and for thongs because it just is more sustainable and easier. I have one pair of Thinx underwear that I love wearing to sleep on that time of month. I still wear my menstrual cup, but sometimes it might leak overnight. It doesn't really, it's just the first day of my period, and I like to be extra safe, so I want to get the Thinx thongs for when I'm wearing like a white dress in the spring and summertime, just in case. Just in case those leaks happen, it's there to catch it. I wanted a Wolford bodysuit, but I'm actually gonna leave it on my list but wait until fall, winter to purchase it for my capsule. I wanted a third ear piercing with a tiny hoop, but I actually think I'm going to get another tattoo. I've been wanting a hummingbird, and if my tattoo artist has time, I think I'm gonna allow myself to get the hummingbird in the next quarter. So there are a few tattoos I still want to complete, and for those of you guys who don't like tattoos or understand tattoos, I totally get it. It's not for you, but for me, it's on my body for the rest of my life, and for me, it has meaning every time I get one, and I really love them. And I also have a very specific style and artist, so when you book with an artist, you have to work around their schedule essentially because they're traveling all over the place and you're paying for someone's artwork. So instead of buying a piece of art for the home, I'm buying a piece of art for my body. Anyways, only people with tattoos really kind of understand that concept. For me, it's something that I value and treasure. So I'm gonna see if he has time in the next quarter to book myself a tattoo, and hopefully I can get it around my birthday. We also need to get a steamer and saucepan. This is on my wish list just in case I take it out of my budget, but for the most part I think like we'll just probably wait a month and Chris and I will decide on which ones we want and we'll pick one out. Really only the stuff on my wish list. And then the things I did buy this quarter that were on my wish list is the e.l.f. J. Kissa collection, the Essence highlighter, which I still use, but I really didn't need it, but it was like $4, so I'm not that upset about it. A daily planner journal, and the woven cotton shoulder bag from Net-a-Porter, which was part of my capsule wardrobe. So technically that was totally okay, but I've had that on my wish list for over a year, and I finally decided to purchase it. So I was really proud of that purchase, and I love that bag so much because of it. How do I start? If you want to start a low buy, no buy, I advise you to kind of just sit down, write down your goals, write down the rules that will make sense for you, make up some contingency plans. Like for me, I knew that by saying like I couldn't spend money on anything was not realistic, and I was setting myself up for failure, which is why I had the weekly things I wanted to buy and then my full wish list, and things on my wish list that had been there for at least a week I was allowed to purchase. I talk about all of this in my original no buy video, so I'm not going to repeat myself too much hopefully. I just encourage you to watch from the beginning of that series. Okay, let's move on to the questions on my YouTube channel. Have you figured out how much you're saving with the no buy low buy strategy? Like how much of a difference in your finances it has made since before? I know you figured it out with your capsule, but how about overall? So at a very conservative number, I'm saving $2,500 to $3,000 a month being on this no buy low buy journey. I was spending in excess of $2,000 to $3,000 on my credit cards with things I couldn't tell you what I was actually buying. But yeah, there was an excess of $2,000 to $3,000 on my credit card before my low buy no buy journey. So anywhere between $6,000 to $9,000 in my first quarter. When you feel the urge to buy, what do you do instead, and has it led you to splurge or feel out of control in other areas? Like, do you find yourself overcompensating to fill the emotional hole that shopping may have filled? These are issues I have. I would say I talk it over with Chris, and I talk it over with you guys a lot in my vlogs. That helps me just express those feelings and get it out. For a little bit, I did binge eat a little. Like I would indulge in food, and not necessarily like going out to indulge in food, but I would indulge in like my favorite kind of snacky foods a little bit, but not too much because I am practicing a ketotarian diet, so there's only so much I can do. I would say purging stuff and cleaning, that helps. And just working. I mean, my schedule's pretty full, so I've been able to be a little more efficient. I've been able to have a little more downtime, in the sense like I'm gonna catch up on YouTube videos or Instagram stories and things like that. I think really just having someone to talk to through this really helps. How have you dealt with your emotions that used to lead you to make purchases? What did you buy from your wish list that in retrospect you regret, and which purchases were the best? So I think I talked about like what I bought from my wish list and what I regret from what I bought. My best purchases, I would say in the last quarter, honestly, my best money spent was making room and time for my friends. And then in terms of how I deal with my emotions, I voice them. I share them with you on camera, and then I can like talk my emotions through, and then I talk about it with Chris. And yeah, like having you guys really helps. So I encourage you to find a community or find a friend that can be supportive, or a family member that can be supportive. And if not, like leave me a comment, message me on Instagram. So journaling too, if you don't have anyone in your life or you don't feel comfortable talking to them about your feelings, journaling can really help put everything into perspective. How do you determine what a good weekly budget is to not feel deprived? That's really up to everybody, I feel like. It depends on your finances, what you're comfortable in spending, what's realistic. I mean, to be honest, this last quarter has been really slow for us, so I should probably not have a budget to spend any money, but that's not realistic, and that will end up setting myself up for failure and feeling depressed and feeling deprived. I think $100 a week is fair for living in LA. It allows me to buy an acai bowl if I'm having a bad day. It allows me to go meet a friend to get some friend therapy, and it allows me to maybe, if I want to, buy something off my wish list or help me learn to save for a bigger item on my wish list. Hi, are you using a certain debt payoff strategy, for example, avalanche, snowball, etc.? So basically what I'm doing right now is I'm paying the minimum plus interest rate on one card, and then I'm trying to pay off my other card. So I'm trying to make bigger payments on this one card and get that paid off completely and at a zero balance every month, and then I'll work on this other card. Right now I have a zero balance on one card that's linked to my Amazon account because I get points on Amazon, and that was like a big deal. So I was really excited to be able to just, like, if I spend it, I pay it right now, and then I'm working on paying off this one card and the other one. I think that's called the snowball one. Is that called the snowball one? Are you thinking of or do you currently have a type of allowance each week for yourself? So I did not have an allowance before, but moving into quarter 2, I will be having an allowance each week. What has been your biggest temptation and how have you resisted? How about if you slip up, how do you get back on track? These are my big issues. So my biggest temptation is definitely beauty, especially indie beauty, skincare, whole foods. I would say, honestly, like, I'm tempted anytime I'm around things I can buy. I have a problem. It's getting better. It's definitely getting better. If you slip up, look, you're gonna slip up. You're human. It's okay. Just get back on track. Diet, with spending, with any of these habits you're trying to build, you might miss a day. You might spend some money. You might eat a tub of ice cream. You did it. Accept it. Maybe think about why you did it, and then start over the next day. Just because you make a mistake, just because you fall off the wagon, doesn't mean that it's over. It just means you're human and mistakes happen, things are gonna happen, shit happens. And my biggest thing is to encourage you, when you do fall off the wagon, to think about why you fell off the wagon. What triggered you to fall off the wagon? How are you feeling when you fell off the wagon? What happened emotionally, mentally, physically? Did something trigger you, and what was it? And once you recognize those things, hopefully it'll help you recognize it before you actually fall off the wagon again. It's okay. You're human. Don't be so hard on yourself. Those are all the questions I had on YouTube on the community section. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it was very long and chatty, but I think it's important to update you guys on what I've learned, where I was starting from. Hopefully you see a difference from my first no buy video till now. Hopefully you've been following along on the journey. If not, I encourage you guys to go back and check out my weekly check-ins and kind of what's been going on. I'm excited to move forward in Q2. I'm a little scared to stay on a budget, but I'm excited to move forward in Q2. So stay tuned next week, starting Monday, $100. Let's see what I spend my money on. Let's see if I can actually save and roll over money each week so that I have a bigger pot to work with. That's my goal. That's my goal in week 2, is to not spend every freaking penny of my budget each week so that I have more to work with. Yeah, I'm very excited moving forward. I really feel like I'm a changed person. Same person, but definitely grown a lot in the last 3 months, and it makes me so happy because I see new habits happening and I see new tendencies before I shop, before I purchase things, which really encouraged me. Really can shift your mindset really quickly if you put challenges and rules in place. And if you are thinking about doing this yourself, just really sit down, take a couple hours and think about it. Think about why you want to do it. Think about your goals and set up rules, but make contingency plans so you don't feel deprived. And it's always okay to shift those rules and change those rules around, but give yourself a time frame, whether it be a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, but give yourself that time to like really focus on those rules. And then if you need to shift them, shift them. But don't just shift them because, you know, you're breaking those rules every day. Until next time, I'll see you guys back here 3 times a week. And I also have a second channel with Chris about mindful living. So I will link that in the description box as well as in the cards if I remember. But check us out over on Serein and Chris. We talk about our lifestyle over there as well. And you see a little more of Chris. Have a beautiful, wonderful rest of your day. Hopefully you subscribed and give this video a thumbs up. I'll also see you over on stories. Bye!